Hi guys. So yeah, this is live footage. It's very dark. So I have my own creepypasta here today for you guys. It's called Spongebob insanity.avi. I really hope you guys enjoy this. I made two videos today. That's actually kind of a record. Anyway, for the past while being. But yeah, it's raining. So it's very dark and creepy, right, Abby?
Yeah.
Alright guys, and by the way, that's an abandoned house right there. It's got you can't see that sign. It's a sign. The guy died in there. It's probably haunted. Alright guys, so we're gonna be getting started. Alright guys, so by the way, this is what I have to say. I was around, what? No, I was around 7. I was walking through this weird little forest when I was 7. It was my birthday in around 5 days. I was getting so excited that I nearly passed out in the forest. I came across when I woke up on Spongebob TV tape. I was only gone for or passed out for 10 minutes, so I still had around 5 minutes to get home. I was home after around 5 minutes of walking through the forest. It was right out back of my house. I wasn't scared or anything because I knew what I was doing and knew where I was going. As the minutes passed, I was really tired. I had a TV in my room and a little Blu-ray DVS player. I was getting pretty scared around time being. It was my bedtime, so I was like, let's watch that VHS tape. I put it in my Blu-ray, and the thing played without me even needing to use my remote for it. I threw the remote halfway across the room on accident because I'm a really lazy kid, and I would do that. The video had a couple commercials that were night changing. It showed a man walking in the rain, and then he started getting faster and faster until something started chasing after him, and he heard screams. The screams nearly sounded like somebody in great danger, pain, and agony, and suffering. I started walking closely to raindrops and many other things. Then the screen faded into black. A couple other commercials for Chuck E. Cheese's pizza, but with some horrifying music called Skip to My Lou, and really high boosted, very high audio basically, and children screaming in the background and gunshots. Then Chucky smiled. Not actually as himself, but the costume turned to a smile, as then he thumbs up and blood started leaking through the eye holes. I got really scared and alone. I couldn't leave my room because I remember my parents locked it every night just for me because I got scared when it was open. I didn't know what to do. I started walking around neighborhoods, the screen said. It faded into a commercial. The man started screaming. It went back to the commercial and aired a product for Doritos. But instead of airing the Doritos, it was a completely different commercial for a completely different show, for a completely different brand that said Torditos. It was in the shape of a Dorito, but instead it was a square. Around 5 minutes after that commercial was playing, that completely scared me and scarred me, that I could not remember. The episode finally started playing. SpongeBob. With SpongeBob crying in the background, he completely said that he was in a nuclear shell out home and that he was hiding for his life. And many humans that would like to take his life and steal all of his supplies. He couldn't even save anybody besides Gary. Gary was in the corner about to starve to death as he gave him a pack of food that was barely anything in it. He had only 2 more cans for Gary and 5 more cans of water and food for himself. he started crying, as Gary did too, in more of a realistic manner than how normal TV shows should be. Loud thumps could be heard in the background as someone got close to the bunker and knocked on it, saying, "Open up, FBI." He looked out his little peephole, and it was a man holding a med kit. He simply walked in and gave him the med kit and took one of his cigar packs that he was about to use, and he started yelling at him. But the man nearly shot him if he didn't jump up. He started getting so scared that half of the time that I was watching the video, I realized around 5 minutes had passed without me even noticing of some blank TV image. But then it cut back into the episode after around the 2 minutes after I started realizing. Spongebob looked even more depressed, and it said Dave 24. Gary nearly about to die. He only had 1 can left, and Spongebob had some unhealthy living causes because he wasn't drinking enough water as the normal human should. It went over to this rich family that had the biggest bunker ever with bunches of rooms and food, and they were drinking the average amount of water a human should each day. It was so sad. Spongebob started sitting down as somebody knocked on his door, which was a man that looked even worse than him. He said he'd offer him a suit for his checkerboard. He had cards with that, so he offered it and then instantly did not regret the trade. He ran out, and Gary stayed there, holding a tactical axe in his hands. Gary was very scared. Let's go. It said day 30, so 6 days without Spongebob. He came back with a tiny little bruise on his leg and a couple gunshot wounds, like he was shot a couple times, and the med kit was vanished. Must meaning he used it for some cause that was better than anything on the planet. He came back with 3 food snail, 5 water, and a soup, and a couple Cheez-It and some crumbs. He poured them down and started laughing hysterically while Gary wondered why. Gary looked on his tongue at night but couldn't find any trace of LSD, so he was a little happy that Spongebob wasn't taking drugs in the middle of the war, buying them off when it was like the Great Depression but 20 times worse. Gary fell asleep and then woke up to Spongebob hysterically laughing with the gun in his hands. He nearly shot Gary, and Gary tried to attack him, but Gary then screamed. He was stabbed by